Good morning, everyone. This is Linda with Linda's Plants for you. I want to begin today's video by thanking everyone again, all my subscribers and my new subscribers, and especially a special thank you goes out to my people who are following me on a regular basis. I really need to let you know how much I appreciate seeing your name and your comments pop up over and over. It really makes me understand that you truly are interested in my videos and really watching them and, you know, perhaps learning something from them. And that's really the whole idea behind the plant community on YouTube to begin with. So thank you so much for those of you who are taking the time to do that. And before I get started on my plant things, I want to also give my hubby a shout out. And I meant to do this on the last video and I totally forgot and it just got too long. But I am, those of you that know me know that I'm an avid coffee drinker. And I like my coffee really hot. Not to where I'm burning myself, obviously, but as hot as I can get it without that happening. And I came across these cups at a thrift store a while ago. They only had 3 and I bought all 3, and 2 of them have broken, and I'm not sure how that happened, but those 2 are gone. And on the weekends, my husband will usually make the coffee because I make it every day during the week, and even though he's not here to drink it, it gives me a little bit of a break on the weekends. So he'll make the coffee and he'll bring it, and when he sets this cup down in front of me, I get very excited because I get excited over little things anyway. But it's become my favorite cup. Partially because of the shape of it, and partially because it keeps my coffee really warm. So isn't that a wonderful way to start your day? And the reason I'm bringing this up right now is because a couple of weeks ago, he was at the Goodwill searching for something else, and he found these. They are the same exact cup, the same manufacturer. They're, I can never pronounce this, and I should be able to because I'm an avid antique dealer, or I was. Falsgraf. Falsgraf is the name. And this one is as well. And I love the shape. And there's just something about, and I love, love, love the color. It's like almost like a butter yellow, tending towards maybe more the gold side. But at any rate, I wanted to say thank you to my husband for thinking about me. And, you know, it's those little things that really matter, folks. And, you know, it goes both ways in this house. I talk a lot about all the good things and nice things he does for me. I do a lot of nice things and little things for him as well. It's not one-sided, although it might appear that way sometimes. And I've always told my girls when they were growing up, they always asked me what is the secret to happy marriage. I said, if you try to give 100%, that'll work. Because if you're giving 100%, or you're trying, none of us ever can do that, but if you're trying to give 100% to your loved one or your mate, they're going to recognize that, and they're going to feel like they want to do something for you. And that's how that works. And, you know, growing up in old school, they'd always say it's a 50-50 deal. I don't subscribe to that, because if you're only going to give 50%, where's the other 50% going? And that tells me you got a stopping point. So if things get rough in your marriage or your relationship, and you've got a, you know, your cutoff point is 50%, but you're going to have to give at least 75, maybe for a couple of weeks or and sometimes maybe a couple years. One of the things that comes to my mind is our veterans when they come back, and young couples, you know, and that poor girl had no idea she was going to be married to a man that lost his limbs. And, you know, it takes quite an adjustment and quite a person to be able to deal with that. And I just had to put that out there here today. And part of it is because I just spoke with somebody who has a disabled son, and he got very very badly hurt in the service. He's trying to get compensation for it, and they're denying him. And I think that's just absolutely horrible. So I just wanted to say we need to be thankful, and we need to thank the loved ones in our life for the little things that they do for us, because really, I mean, doesn't it make your day when someone does an unexpected kindness? It does for me. So cheers to you all. Okay, the next thing I want to do is, this was not planned today, folks, because I had other things I was going to work on with my plants, but I got a request this morning from one of my subscribers, and she said, can you please do a video on propagating coleus and any other plant that you can do. So I chose 2 of them here because I've been wanting to do this anyway. So what I'm going to do is, these coleus, I got all 3 of these from Suzette's garden, and as you can see, they could be in much better shape. And I got to tell you, I'm a little bit ashamed of myself for letting them get to this point. I've been planning on repotting these for since before Christmas, and life just gets in the way, and I didn't get it done. But I have no doubt that I can bring these plants back to a beautiful, lush, healthy plant, just like the one I used to have in my window in my dining room. If you don't know what that looks like, go back to my dining room plant tour and you'll see it. It really was a gorgeous plant, and I gave that away to my daughter. So anyway, that's what we're going to do today. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to disinfect my scissors. And the reason I do that is because my husband has a habit of grabbing whatever scissors is near, and I have about 5 of them around the house, but I never know what he's cutting with that, so I just take that extra step. And I know not everybody does it, and it may not be necessary, but it makes me feel better about it. Okay, then this pot I want to show you is, this is from the Dollar Tree, believe it or not, from last year. I got it. And these were sold separately, but it's called a basket liner. And it fits perfectly in here, and I don't know if that's where it was meant to go, but that's where I'm putting it. And this one just did not come with holes in the bottom, and most dollar store planters don't. So I just poked some holes with a serrated edge knife into here, and this does not sit on the bottom. There's about this much room, so there'll be plenty room for drainage. The reason I'm putting these in plastic is the terracotta tends to dry out very fast, as most of you know, and coleus are big drinkers, but they don't like to have soaking wet feet. So I thought if I put it in a well-draining pot with plastic that I would solve that problem, because right now what happens is it'll get dry and collapse, and if I don't catch it within that 24-hour period, I'm losing roots, and then eventually I'm losing a piece of the plant, which is what happened here. And that is just that's not acceptable. Not to me. Partially because it's just neglect, and partially because this was a gift from someone that means a lot to me, so I feel bad about that. But no need to stress, because we're going to fix it right now. And the other thing is I wanted to put all these plants in one pot because I want to put it on a table in my living room under an LED light. Right now these plants are in my dining room, in the window, and they're getting southern exposure and eastern, and that's perfect light for these. But because they're in and amongst so many other plants, sometimes I miss them as I'm going through and I'm looking at my plants and watering. I feel my plants. I don't just water every day, and sometimes I miss them. So I want to give these real close-up and personal attention for a while until I can get them full and back to life. And hopefully I'll be able to bring you an update on that when I do that. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to set this pot aside for now. And I'm going to fill this with dirt. Soil. I don't know. Dirt, soil. It's really all the same to me, but I've been corrected a few times, so I try not to call it dirt. I apologize. Okay. All right. Okay, and I need my green pot. I use a separate pot to put my old soil in because I never know what's going on, and I don't want to transfer any bugs or diseases into the new soil. So I'm going to put this here so you can see what I'm doing. You know, after you do this a while, you tend to feel like people just know what you're doing and how you're doing it, and I've got to stop doing that because there are so many people that are still trying to learn, and they need to see every step. So I'm going to do my best to remember that. Okay. That piece that I showed you, that was, there were no roots on it. It was gone. But this is still a healthy specimen, and I am going to use it. We're going to set that over there. And yes, these are different types of coleus, but it's okay. You can put them all together. It doesn't hurt anything. And sometimes it looks really interesting. So we'll see. Now this one's got a good healthy root system. So I don't want to disrupt that too much because the roots on coleus, especially this size, are very fine. And the more you mess with the dirt, the more chance you have of losing some of the roots. And I'm not of the school that that's okay, so we're gonna just, this is good. I'm good with this. Okay, that's gonna probably have to go in the middle of this pot. I'm hoping this pot's gonna be big enough. I'm a little bit nervous about that now. Now that I'm looking at the root system, I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to do what I thought I was going to be able to do. And, you know, that's okay too. I just have to get another pot. But I thought I felt something snap, but I don't think it was. I think it just kind of came loose. And these do break very easily, the branches on these coleus, so I don't know if you can see. There's just a little bit of roots on the bottom there, but there's enough. In fact, you can stick these in soil with no roots and they will root just fine. And once again, I forgot my knife. I'm going to use my scissors because I'm going to wash this off again anyway before I do the next plant. There. Okay. All right. All right, now you can see this has a pretty good long stem. And this one, he's a little wonky. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this out of the way. And honestly, I can see that these are not all going to fit in this pot. I'm a little bummed about that, but that's okay. I'm going to find her her own pot. And maybe she deserves her own anyway. She's such a beautiful plant. Okay, so we're going to set her aside for now. My main reason for doing this is not for the repotting. It's for the to demonstrate how I propagate these. One of the things that I should tell you is you want to make sure you start out with a good piece to put in the soil. So don't wait until they're limpy. I like to water my plants, as a rule, I try anyway, to water them 24 hours before I'm going to do this. Now in this case it was the day before yesterday that I watered this plant. So it's still, you can feel it, they're still firm. And these do break off real easy, these branches. So you have to, you know, kind of be careful when you're working with them. I mean, they're not delicate, but they break, they snap easy. But you know, the good thing about coleus is even if it snaps, it'll grow new leaves. So they're really a carefree type of plant as far as I'm concerned. So, all right, we've got these pieces we got to fit in here. And I think I'm going to leave the little ones out for now, and we'll add those at the end. I think I'm going to get these in the middle here. So I'm going to make a hole. I'm going to put these in put a little water in here because it's very hard to get these to stand up with dry soil. So I'm going to moisten the soil. And this soil's been dry for a very long time, so sometimes it just sits on the surface. It takes time to absorb it and reconstitute it, I think is the right word. So, all right, we got that. So now I'm going to dig a hole in the middle here. And I'm going to stick these down together because I want them to be close together. And I'm going to gently push down. You know, firmly but gently. Don't, you know, try to push it down so hard that you break the roots. They got to have a little air. They got to be able to get oxygen out of the soil. But they have to be, you have to push it down enough to make it firm so it doesn't fall over, but not so hard that you suffocate the plant. And I know that's it's a hard thing to explain. You'll just learn as you go. And like I said, coleus is very forgiving, so even if you mess up, chances are it's going to be okay. Alright, before I put these other smaller pieces in here, I'm going to demonstrate again how to cut and propagate this. Now I only want to make one, I think one cut on here. You know what, I'm going to do 2 cuts on these 2 plants, and then we'll add the other ones, just because I want you to see how I'm doing this, okay? I'm hoping I got this close enough that you'll be able to see. On the coleus, you simply go to wherever there are 2 leaves coming out. If you look really close here, you can almost see another leaf forming, another shoot forming. Like right here, we've got the 2, and then there's 2 more coming out, right? But where you want to cut it, and this is information for the people who have requested me to do this again, slowly, and so that they could see. So I'm so hoping you can see this. You can see where 2 leaves are coming out of the stem here, right here. Okay? And it's not the end of the world if you cut it in the wrong place. Then just recut it. The key here is wherever you cut the plant that's in the soil, wherever you cut it, like here, once you take this piece away, that's going to branch out. So for wherever you want this plant to get thicker is where you want to cut it. That's how you determine where you want to cut it. If I wanted it to get thicker further down, then I would go to the next set of leaves and cut it. But for this plant, this is where I want to, and well, actually, yeah, I want to encourage the growth to come right here, the new growth. So I'm going to go right above those leaves that are sticking out, and I'm going to cut it. Now, you might be tempted to put this in the soil, and you can try it, and it might work. But I have found the best thing to do is to take the bottom leaves off, because if these leaves touch the soil and lay on the soil, they're going to rot anyway. And the more leaves that you have on top, the longer it takes for these to root. I like to leave anywhere from 2 to 5 leaves on the top, and that goes for other plants too. Purple passion is another one. You only want to try and leave a few leaves at the top. You got to leave a few because that's where the photosynthesis happens. That's where the sunshine comes in and shoots it down into the main crux of the plant. So you don't want to not have leaves on it, but the more leaves you have, the longer it takes for it to root. So I'm going to take this piece now, and I'm just going to make a little hole, and I'm going to just shove this down in there. And I'm going to press lightly, and I'm going to try to keep those leaves from touching the soil. Okay. And then we're going to do that again with this one. This one I think I'm actually going to do something a little different. There's a lot of growth up here, but I think I want to start down here, okay? I don't want this to be spindly the way it is right now. I want it to be full. So I'm going to go where there's 2 leaves again. You can see there, right here where the 2 leaves are. I'm going to go right above that, trying not to cut those leaves. And there we go. Now you can see right where I cut it, there's leaves, and this is going to branch out. It's going to get bushy there, right here. Alright, that's going to give you new growth. So eventually we are going to have a very full, lush plant. Alright, now with the piece that I cut off, we don't want to stick this whole, you can, you could stick this whole thing back in the soil, but I don't want to do that. partly because I don't want it to be the way it is right now, all wonky. I could just stick it in the soil and let it go over the pot. Take off a few of these leaves at the bottom and stick it down in there, and it'll grow. But I want it to grow upright, so I am going to make separate cuttings out of these. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to take this as a leaf. I'm going to take it off. That's not going to root, I don't believe. I could be wrong, folks, but I've never tried to root just a leaf. I'm not sure that's feasible. Okay, and I'm going to pull off these bottom leaves once again because I want this to root fast. And I know it's hard for some people to do that. I get that, but you know, sometimes. Now on this one, because there's new growth coming out here, I'm just going to cut right here. And on this, I'm going to pull, once again, these bottom leaves off. I know that's hard for some of you to watch. It was for me for many years. I didn't like tearing perfectly good growth off of my plants. But sometimes it's necessary. And then I'm going to stick that down in the soil up to about here. Alright, because I want these nodes to be down in there. And the nodes are where the leaves were growing off of, okay? And then I'm going to just turn this a little bit. Alright. Okay. And we've got another one here. And again, you can see the nodes and where leaves were coming out of. And that's what's going in the soil. And because this is kind of on an angle, I'm really tempted to you know what, I'm going to cut this off and make it a little shorter. I still got the node on there. I don't want to put this in on an angle in here, so I made it straight. Take off one more leaf, so now you can see I've just got a few leaves at the top again. And then I'm going to put it in the soil about halfway down that stem. And again, the soil is a little bit moist. Moist enough to hold it up. Alright, and then now we've got these, which have roots on them already. So we're going to stick that down in there. And I'm going to take this leaf off for several reasons. It's very limpy. It's going to end up sitting on top of my soil, and I don't want that. And it's going to drain the nutrients that I need to get this going. So just cut that off. Stick this in here. Okay. And we have two more pieces left that are a little worse for wear. I'm going to take this off because it's no good. And I think that might be okay. I think this just needs water. Nope. Those leaves were broken at the stem. It was hard to see because they're so fine. But I just cut them off then. Let's stick these in soil. And we have one more. Now as you can see, there are leaves down here. And there are roots down here. So if I wanted those leaves to be part of the finished product down the road, I would have to plant it right here, and then these would be touching the soil. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to cut these off with my finger. Boom, boom. And there's a tiny little bit of roots, and I'm going to put it right where you see my thumb here right now. I'm going to plant it about up to there. And then these plants will grow. These leaves will grow beautifully. Alright, let's see. Do we have a bare spot in here? It's a little more difficult doing this sitting down, and I wish I could do it standing up, but unfortunately I can't. So hopefully we got them pretty well distributed here in the pot. And I see one leaf here that I am going to take off because it's way too close to the soil, and I don't want it to get rotten in there and attract fungus gnats, and I think I finally got rid of those. So, alright. And I will show you the finished product and where it's going to be sitting in just a few minutes. And this guy needs to go in its own pot. And I don't believe I have a clean one near me, so because I was not anticipating that, I'm going to have to get up and find one. And I'm not sure if I want to cut this back or not. I think I really am thinking I probably should. Because even though you can see growth down in here, there's a lot. Well, I don't know. Maybe we'll just leave this one for now, because there is a lot of growth down in the center. And if that fills out, then this too will be a beautiful plant without me doing anything to it. So maybe I will just, maybe we'll just be done here. And I'll repot this off camera because I'm just going to stick it in a pot with some soil, and I don't have a pot here right now because I wasn't anticipating that. But that is, these are the coleus, and I'm hoping that I've answered your questions that were put to me about this project. And, you know, folks, if you ever have a real issue that you want to discuss with me, I am also on Instagram, and I am more than happy to respond to you if you want to private message me or direct message me on Instagram with your email address. I will be happy to answer your questions the best I can. And again, I have to just put a disclaimer out there. I am not a plant expert by any means. I have been raising plants most of my life. But I still make mistakes too. And but I give the best of what I do know and hope that it helps somebody. And I really hope this helped the people who have been asking me about this. Coleus are a common plant, but they can be absolutely breathtaking if you take good care of them and bring out their true color. These can both be much deeper in color. They both need very bright light. And like I said, I've had the best luck with coleus in the east window. You want to keep the soil, let it dry out about halfway down. You don't want it to dry to the point where the plant is drooping. But you can let it dry out where the leaves look a little droopy, they're just not as perky as they should be. That's my sign to water. Don't wait until the leaves are shriveling up and hanging down and laying down over the side of the pot, because although you probably can bring it back to life, a few times. Eventually the day will come when it won't come back for you. And that I learned with experience. So very rewarding plant. It's a beautiful plant. A lot of people just think of these as outdoor ground cover, but I think they're very pretty, and the colors go with the decor of my home, so I like it in here. So, all right, well, I think I've talked and yacked enough. We're going to end it here, and I will be back very soon. I'm going to be doing a propagation on my Purple Passion as well. It's getting out of hand again, and I want to start some cuttings for my granddaughter, so, and my daughter if she wants to have them. But that is a plant that just keeps on giving, and that's going to be probably my next video. So if you're interested in the Purple Velvet, and if I said Purple Passion, I apologize. Those are two different plants. Purple Velvet is the one that I'm referring to, and with the purple fuzzy leaves. Okay, and I will be back, and I'm excited to bring you more videos, and I thank you all for watching. And please, if you like my videos, if you haven't subscribed yet, do subscribe. And if you like my videos, give me a thumbs up. That tells, when I see the thumbs up, then I know people like it. And I know when I watch videos, a lot of times I forget to do that, but I will go back and do it, because if it's something I really liked and I want to see them do more of it, that's our way of letting the YouTubers know, hey, that was a really great video, do some more like that, when they get a lot of positive feedback. So that's it for today. I may be bringing another video later this evening, but I'm not going to promise that, because I don't know what my day is going to bring here, and as of right now, this is what I have. All right, so hopefully this has helped you. I hope you have a good day, what's left of it, and take care. Bye now.